Alright guys, so another way to try to give it to you is to give it to you in degrees. Okay, I'm not going to make you guys do all sine, cosine, tangent for this one, but I think problems ask you guys to do that. So looking at a unit circle, you notice 75 is not on here. It's either 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, or 45, 90, 135. So I need to break this down using multiple of 30 or 45. And here you go, 45 plus 30. Okay. Looking back at the formulas on page 374, when you have cosine and you're adding, it comes down to cosine x times cosine y minus sine of x sine of y. Okay, we'll call this one x and y. Cosine of 45, square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. Minus sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Sine of y is 1/2. You get square root of 6 over 4 minus the square root of 2 over 4. Again, you get square root of 6 minus the square root of 2 all over 4. You should notice by now a lot of these are going to look very similar. If I take out the square root of 2, you're left with square root of 3 minus 1 over 4. Okay. All right. Now here's a different one. It says find sine of u. Oh, sorry. This is going to be example 3 on page 375. Okay. I don't want to rewrite the whole thing because it's long. Okay. But you're given sine of u equals 4 over 5. And it's between 0 and pi over 2. And you're given cosine of v equals negative 12 over 13. And that's between pi over 2 and pi. Okay. So, real simple. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay. Got my triangle here. Call this one u. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay. I need to figure this out. So again, call this one a. A squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. A squared plus 16 equals 25. Minus 16 minus 16. A squared equals 9. Square root it. This becomes 3. Why is that important? Because I need to know what cosine of u is. Cosine of u is going to be, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, 3 over 5. And why is this important? It's between 0 and pi over 2. So they're my unit circle. Between 0 and pi over 2. So we're in this one. And we know here they're all positive. So that tells me that this is positive 3 over 5. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so this would be 12 over 13. I ignore the negative. We'll call it b on this one. So 12 squared plus b squared equals 13 squared. You get 144 plus b squared equals 169. Subtract 144 from both sides. You get b squared equals, what is that, 25? Take the square root, you get 5. So b is 5. Why is that important? Because that tells us sine would be 5 over 12. Now let's look at this. Pi over 2 and pi. Pi over 2 and pi is right here. Okay? That tells me sine is positive. So, since I'm dealing with sine, it's positive. Okay? Now, if this happens to say it's between pi over 2, if it happens to say it's between pi and 3 pi over 2, well, pi and 3 pi over 2 is right here, and right here we know only tangent is positive, which would mean sine and cosine are negative, which would make this negative, but it's not. So, okay. Now, why do we need all that? Because it tells us the worst